Now, what is that can energize the energy system itself? What can support the energy system itself, which is invisible within us? In this module, we'll be talking about virtues or the value system that will energize the energy system within our body, which in turn will energize the organ system and the physical system. We have been always looking for external energy, right? Inner energy to keep us get going in our day-to-day activities and life. So what are the virtues that everybody needs to follow or ensure that we follow so that we feel energized? It's not necessary that only diet and exercise is what will energize us. Our thoughts, our behavior, action play a significant role. What we do and what we have done in the past has a huge impact in what we are going to do. So how are we going to manage all this? How are we going to manage our thoughts? How are we going to manage our behavior? How are we going to manage our action? What is a guideline? Let's take one emotion, one common emotion that we normally experience in our modern day-to-day life. Anger, temper, rage, especially when something goes wrong, like you are trying to you go to office and you're running late, or you're running late to catch your train, you're running late to finish your assignment within the deadline. You may feel the temper. Your child is being naughty at that time. Things are not falling in place at that time. You may feel out of control. You may feel a certain spike in your emotion, in whatever you're feeling. So we call it as, let's say it's anger. So you may tend to express that anger externally through words, through behavior, or you may tend to be silent also. But what happens to the body when you feel such an emotion? It does affect the energy system. It does create an imbalance in the chakra system, in the elemental system, the hormonal system, the chemical system in the body. How do we handle that? This can be handled over time with practice by following a value system, which becomes a guideline for the mind and body and even the soul to keep you in a calm and composed manner and only experience certain emotions which can add value to you and to the people around you. To get into this kind of a value system, it is only possible by getting into our roots. We have to look into the traditional sciences, traditional culture, where the value system has been rooted within us. So these virtues have been written, mentioned in the Vedas, in the Gita, and in most of the literature of India. So let's take a look at this value system. So here we go. The Yamas: non-injury or non-harming, being truthful, not stealing, walking in awareness of God, and being non-possessive. How will this kind of a value system help us in maintaining our energy, our inner energy? When you do not injure another person, it retains the energy within you. Because harming another person takes a certain kind of energy. It extracts a certain kind of energy. And being truthful also requires more energy, but still at the end, you will have the energy. The energy within you will be fed back to you. Abstinence from stealing, desiring for another person's things, Taking away another person's things without his or her knowledge will come under stealing. So if you want something, it's good to ask for it, and if you deserve it, you will get it. Stealing is not the good option. So that would add value to your energy system. Walking in awareness of God, being aware that God is with you every time, being in harmony with the universe, with the nature around you. If you don't believe in God, then let's talk about nature, walking in awareness of nature, and being non-possessive, not desiring for things beyond your control, and having the feeling and emotion to let go. Let's look at another value system, the Niyamas. Cleanliness and purity of body and mind. How pure your body and mind is in terms of thinking. Content attitude. Content attitude. You are happy and content with what you have and what you've got. So only when you desire, when you have expectations, you will tend to have a different kind of an emotion. Because when your expectation is not met according to the brain, it triggers certain kind of signals that will have a reverse effect, a negative effect on the body. And that is also and having a content attitude, having clean and pure body and mind is possible by training the senses. Right? You need to train your senses of what you see, what you hear, what you speak, what you feel. Training of the senses is very important. Self-study and reflection of the spiritual text. So take some guidance. Either observe yourself on your own or refer to information that has already been given by people, by the yogis, by the ancient people who have mentioned the good stuff. So it's good to reflect on those information. Let go and have a surrendering attitude. Surrender to the situation completely, especially when things go out of control. Our ancient literature tells us to have an attitude of letting go and surrendering. Because when it is already out of control, it's fine to let it go as it requires to go. Right? So are we willing to see what our thoughts are? Are we willing to observe what our emotions are? How we understand people? How we understand our mind? How we understand situations? How we react to situations? Yes, that's a question. That's a self-observation. That's a conscious observation that we have to do to ensure that we have energy within us. So only having all these systems is what will enable us to get to the 24/7 energy woman state. Yes, 24/7 includes the time that you sleep as well. So sleeping also utilizes certain energy, right? The potential energy. That's the time when the healing happens within the body. That's why when you're sick, the doctors tend to give us sedatives or sleep stimulants to make us to fall asleep. Because during sleep is when the entire body shuts down and only certain bodies, organs and systems will work to heal our body properly. So what is the energy that is required over there? How we would rejuvenate that energy? It will help us through following a value system. And the guidelines have been already given to us through our spiritual text. And we are so blessed by being in this kind of a community and culture. Right? So are we willing to observe what our thoughts are? How we emote, especially to our kids, to our closest family, our social circle, our work circle? Are we willing to do all that? And then ensure that we are feeling energetic 24/7. So let's start looking at ourselves from inside towards outside and not the other way around. The other way around also bears weightage impact. From outside also you may tend to get in more energy or lose some energy. So it's a back and forth process that you will have to do of self-observation.